The best secondary in Madden 24. We're here with a new type of video today. In today's video, I'm going to be building the overall best secondary in a man, zone, or hybrid-based defense. Now, what I'm going to do as well, sometimes we're going to use multiple CB spots up to 5, and I'll tell you, move this person to safety. These will be your sub linebackers. In total, we're doing 8 spots for man and zone, and then we're doing 5 for hybrid, and I'll explain why at the end. But we're going to go ahead and get it started with the man-to-man defense. And I think overall, someone that you're going to see a lot of in today's video is Charles Woodson. From a man-to-man's perspective, he's 6'1", 88 speed, 85 acceleration, 86 agility. Also has that 90 man coverage. That is what we're looking for. Now, something else I want to talk about too is the strat cards you would want on these lineups. So in a man-to-man defense, you would want the green man-to-man strat card for your CBs to +2 man to all your CBs, which for instance, Charles Woodson would then be up to 92 man. And you'd want the Chicago Bears coach Matt Eberflus to give an additional +1 man coverage to every single piece on your defense, including the safeties we'll cover right now as well. Now with that, Charles Woodson would be up to 93 man coverage, 88 speed as well. I think he is the best corner in the game, period. Now at our CB2 spot right here, this is going to be another outside corner. For me, I'm going to go ahead and have Antonio Cromartie. I think Cromartie has a very strong argument for second best corner in the game. He is 6'2", 88 speed, 87 acceleration, 86 agility, and again has that 90 man coverage, which in a man-based defense, we're really only looking for that. And just like Charles Woodson, with the strat cards we had, could be up to 93 man coverage, and he can also get abilities like that pick artist ability. Now in the slot right here, I think you could play Crow, you could play Charles Woodson in the slot if you wanted to, but for me, I'm gonna go ahead and have JPJ in the slot. I like these 3 corners on like the first level, if that makes sense. And JPJ this time, 6'2" height, 87 speed, again has that 90 man coverage, just like Charles Woodson, just like Antonio Cromartie, can get up to 93. He has pretty high press as well with 87. And these are like our first level defenders. Outside corner, slot CB right here. Now this is where it will get a little bit interesting though. So over the top, okay, I like to play corners at safety, which when I'm doing like tier lists and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to show, but in a lineup builder, we can't go ahead and do that. So this is going to be our starting free safety right here, and you could really go either or. First one up right here is going to be Trey Brown. So Trey Brown is 5'10", 185, and you might be like, Dill, why are you playing him at free safety? Well, he's 89 speed, 88 acceleration. This time has 89 man coverage. Also, by the way, if you play him out of position, if you play him in your lineup screen at free safety, he'll still get that green strat card boost, which would put him up to 91 man coverage. And again, the Bears coach up to 92 man coverage at free safety. And the reason why I'm playing him at safety, he has 81 press. I just think overall, like, he will play better as a safety for you than he would like an actual like press corner like Charles Woodson, JPJ, Antonio Cromartie. I prefer him as a free safety. And also at our strong safety spot right here, this is going to be another corner that we're playing at safety, and it is going to go ahead and be none other than Primetime. Really like Primetime at the safety spot once again because of his lower press. 6 foot, 185 this time, 88 speed with again that 90 man coverage, so he can get up to 93 just like all the other pieces in our secondary minus Trey Brown. So far, our 5 pieces in the secondary all have over 90 man coverage. Now this is where it does get a little bit interesting though. So now we got to talk about in the box players, which in my mind right now, I'm basically going from 3-3 to 3-3 Cub as like a base defense. Obviously, like in Dollar, you can kind of again use the same 8 pieces in the secondary, just so it would be a little bit different places. Then we have 2 pieces in the box that are going to be playing coverage. And the first one is probably the best sub linebacker in the game. You can play him as a slot CB as well. I think you just got to put Troy P somewhere. I wouldn't recommend usering him. He should be AI controlled, and he's again great in man or zone. 5'10", 89 speed, again has that 90 man coverage, so he could get up to 91 this time with our coach strat card. So he is a really important piece once again, and he can get things like that pick artist ability. Now for a backup free safety right here, if you want 3 people that are just coverage, you could go Joey Blunt right here. But the other person I want to talk about is Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons, again, can be another like sub linebacker. 88 speed, 87 acceleration. This time, again, 85 man coverage. By far and away, the lowest man coverage we covered. But again, he can make plays that other people can't because of that 6'4" height. And I trust him in coverage, kind of like he's a little bit like an upgraded Tariq Woolen in a sense. This is the full secondary right here of man defense. And also, finally, we have one last sub linebacker spot, and that's going to go ahead and be Sean T. And this would be my user in a man-based defense. Might be like, Dill, why would this be your user? Well, he's kind of useless in a man-based defense otherwise with 55 man, but he has 88 speed, 87 acceleration, 86 change of direction. Sean T as a user is amazing as well. So I feel like you gotta use him somewhere. This was the man lineup. Let's go ahead and reset this real quick And now we're going to talk about zone. All right, so the first zone CB we're going to cover is, guess who? Charles Woodson. So Charles Woodson, again, 6'1" height, 88 speed. This time he also has 90 zone coverage, which now we're also changing our strat cards as well. You would want the green zone strat card that pluses 2 to CBs, and you would then want the Sean McDermott head coach item that pluses 1 to zone coverage for all your CBs. So Charles Woodson would then be up to 93 zone coverage, which is really, really nice. And again, 6'1" can get things like that pick artist ability. Love him as an outside corner, man or zone. Now our second CB right here that I kind of been debating, do I play him at safety? Do I play him on the outside? Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman I still think is really, really good in a zone-based defense. 6'3" height, 86 speed is starting to get a little bit dated, but he has 90 zone coverage, which in zone, I wouldn't recommend pressing your zones anyway, unless you like just giving up one play streaks for touchdowns. So I wouldn't press him no matter what. And just hitting that 90 zone, I think is really, really important. That's why he's here for me. And for our CB3 right here, we are going to go ahead and have Pat Pete. Pat Pete, again, really, really good. 86 speed this time. So again, a little bit slower. That's what you're going to notice with the zone people. But in my opinion, in zone, I don't think speed is the utmost important things. It's things like play rec 84, 90 zone coverage as well. And again, press to me really doesn't matter in a zone-based defense, but again, he hits 90 zone, which is the threshold. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about a safety spot right here, and we're going to go ahead and move Deron Bland up to safety this time. 87 speed, 89 acceleration, this time 88 zone coverage. With our strat cards though, could get up to 91, which he'd hit the threshold. And again, I like him as a safety. Really, you could go ahead and do something like this though, where him and Richard Sherman swap and Sherman is your safety. I think that makes sense as well. And then at a strong safety spot, we might as well play Troy P as well. Again, over the top in the box, I think no matter what, he should be on the zone-based defense. Again, 89 speed, but this time he has 91 zone coverage, so he hits that 90 tier for zone for the fastest reaction time. Also has 87 play rec, which is one of the highest we're going to cover. And now these are like the starting 5 of like outside people. Now we're going to talk about people in the box. And at the first free safety spot right here, Sean T, I think should be in the box. And in a zone-based defense, you could argue him being over the top as well. 88 speed, this time 90 zone coverage. And a man-based defense obviously offers you nothing but hits the threshold in a zone one. For me, it's a toss-up between Jesse Bates and Ed Reed. I'll just go Jesse Bates in this one because again, he can hit 90 zone, 87 speed, a little bit taller with 6'1". But if you want to have Ed Reed right here, I think you're really justified. Now, also we can talk about a user in his zone-based defense. Really, you have options. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and go Isaiah Simmons. With that 6'4" height, 88 speed, 87 acceleration. He does have pretty good zone though, and pretty good man. So I could see you making a justification like, hey, he should play elsewhere. And that was the starting 8 for my zone-based defense. Now we're going to reset this one final time, and we're going to talk about hybrid coverage, man and zone. And again, right here, we're starting it off with Charles Woodson. He was there for man, he was there for zone, so it only makes sense he's there for hybrid. Again, 90 man, 90 zone. And at my CB2 spot right here, I'm actually going to go ahead and have JPJ this time. And the thresholds that I'm looking for, 85 man, 85 zone. He hits both of those, and he's 6'2" as well. So he can play great in man or great in zone as well. And at a CB3 spot / slot CB spot, I'm going to go ahead and have Pat Pete. Not the fastest with 86 speed, but again, that 90 man, that 90 zone, I think that is really, really important in that 6'1" height. Now, there's only 2 other cards that I think we really need to cover. And one of them, of course, again, Troy P. He was there for man, he was there for zone, going to be there for hybrid as well, that 90 man, that 90 zone. Finally, right here for an over-the-top player, we are going to have Isaiah Simmons. Last time we covered him as a user with 6'4", 88 speed. He was there for man, he was also there for zone as a user, but 85 man, 87 zone. Now, these players right here are really the only great ones that hit 85 and 85. Now, the other pieces on your defense, though, they would be your sub linebackers. So to me, that really depends what you want your sub linebacker to do. You could choose people from the man or the zone lineup. I would say pick the one that you run the most of, if that makes sense. And also with certain cards in the game, for example, right, where I'm going to pull up Antonio Cromartie right here. Antonio Cromartie, if you want hybrid everywhere, you can use someone like Antonio Cromartie that has 82 zone coverage, but again, green zone strat card, and then the coach strat card, that gets him up to 85, which is a threshold to hit. So then you could make it work like that as well. Yeah, y'all, this has been me building the best secondary in Madden 24. I hope y'all did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with the best cards in Madden. Now, if you guys want to see me use some of these cards live, use defenses just like this live, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch to follow. We have been grinding streams over there, so I would greatly appreciate that. And if you don't feel like heading over to Twitch and you want another video to watch, check this one out right here. I ranked the top 10 users in Madden 24.